You are watching Philadelphia 76ers Now by Chat Sports. I am not Chase Sr. I am Marshall Green. Sometimes they do call me Chase Sr. Jr., but I'm going to do my best to hold it down for all you Philly Bulls out there. Chase is on vacation, but we wanted to get you a video on the latest 76ers news and rumors. So on the docket today, we're talking Damian Lillard. Should the 76ers explore a Damian Lillard trade this offseason if Harden leaves? A lot of the NBA personalities, Stephen A. Smith as well as Nick Wright, are saying that Lillard in Philadelphia could make some sense if James Harden goes back to the strip club capital, Houston, Texas. The smoke around James Harden returning to Houston is too much to ignore. Bill Simmons says it's pretty much all but done, and he hasn't felt so strong about a rumor since the LeBron James to the Lakers rumor. So if you want to believe in Boston Billy Simmons, it sounds like James Harden is going back to Houston, but that could change maybe if Joel Embiid and Harden can get it done in the playoffs. This is what Nick Wright had to say about Damian Lillard. He said, there are those odd murmurs that James Harden might leave and go back to Houston. If they flame out in the postseason, it could be a tough offseason for Philadelphia. I'm sure they would try to trade for Dame and remake the team that way if Harden goes back to Houston. I'm going to be honest, Damian Lillard as a James Harden replacement is probably the best job that this front office led by Daryl Morey can do. It would be absolutely electric. You have James Harden, one of the best passers and shot takers and shot creators in the world, and you're replacing him with a guy who is just as skilled on the offensive end, and he's a player that some people think is better. I think they're neck and neck. I think they're in the same tier of players. Not superstars, but stars. That's where I would characterize Harden and Lillard. Both really good players, and if you were to add Lillard next to Joel Embiid, if Harden goes back to H-Town, I think it makes a lot of sense. So we're going to continue to break this down on today's show, but I want you guys to get involved in the comment section right away. Who is a better hooper? Who's a better player? Is it James Harden? Is it Dame Lillard? Let me know what you think. Type H for Harden, type L for Dame Lillard. I'd probably rock with James Harden at this point as the better player, but I think you could make a case for either one. State your case down in the comment section. I do know this. If Damian Lillard is traded to the Philadelphia 76ers, Chase Sr. is going to be going live on the channel. So hit that sub button because we put out videos almost every single day on the latest 76ers news and rumors. And with the playoffs here and the offseason right around the corner, our coverage is only going to ramp up. So if you want daily content on the Philadelphia 76ers, hit that sub button, sub for playoff dubs. When you talk about what Damian Lillard did for the Portland Trail Blazers this year, he's going to get all NBA votes, and I wouldn't be surprised if he makes an all NBA team, despite this team, the Trailblazers, being a bottom 10 team in the National Basketball Association. I mean, in the 58 games that he actually played this year, he was still great. 32 points per game, 7 assists, and he was efficient like he always is. 46% from the deck and 37% from beyond the arc. When you average 32 and 7, you are in a rare air, and you are a rare breed. And he is one of the most, I would say, underappreciated players in this generation and really in this era of basketball. Damian Lillard is special, and he is more of a score-first guard, I would say, than James Harden, whereas Harden has turned into a passer. I believe Harden was the league's leading assist maker this year, and the number one duo in the NBA was Harden to Embiid. But I think Lillard could fill those shoes, and I think he can give you a little bit more of a scoring burst than what Harden can. And I think he could be the playmaker that Harden still is. Sure, you lose a little bit in size going from the 6'5 Harden to the 6'1", 6'2 Dame Lillard, but I really don't think you lose much when it comes to shot taking, shot creation, and playmaking when you go from Harden to Lillard. Stephen A. Smith also thinks that Dame in Philly could make some sense. He said, I would take Damian Lillard over James Harden in a heartbeat. I wouldn't think twice. If I was Philly and I couldn't get my hands on Damian Lillard, I'd had to forfeit James Harden. I'm not talking about trading him. I'm just saying if James Harden walked out the door, so be it, because that's how much no shade on James Harden, that's what I think about Damian Lillard. And even though I think Harden's a little bit better, you can make the case that Damian Lillard is better. I mean, the guy is a bucket getter. That's all he does. When you look at what he did from 2018 to 2022 prior to this season, he gave you 30 pieces. He gave you 28 points per night, and he gives you 7 to 8 assists as well on great efficiency. 2021, he was dealing with an ab injury, kind of a core injury, had to get some surgery, so it wasn't his best season. Well, we were 3 years before that, and look at the year this year. It all comes down to what Damian Lillard wants, and that's what's going to come down to it if a trade does happen. Damian Lillard was in a sit-down conversation with Stephen A. Smith, and he pretty much said, and I'll read you the quote, he said, if we, the Portland Trail Blazers, can't do something significant like that, then we won't have a chance to compete on that level. Then, not only will I have to make a decision, but I think the organization will too. That sounds like an ultimatum from good old Dame time. Sounds like if the Blazers don't do enough, he's going to force his way out. I think it'd be a great replacement for James Harden. Let's play 2K, though. Let's get on the sticks right here. Rate Damian Lillard as a player. If you've never played 2K, this is how it works. It's a scale of 1 to 100. 1 being you're the worst hooper of all time. 100 being you're the best hooper of all time. Rate Dame Lillard as a player right now. We'll get to more about Dame Lillard and James Harden coming up in a second. But you can get your Chat Sports Real One t-shirts today, just in time for the playoff push by the 76ers. We got a red John and we got a blue one. Just get yours, chatsports.com/real one. This black piece is pretty nice as well. Chatsports.com/real one. Link right here. It's also clickable in the comments and description of today's show. Get your shirt today before we take them off the shelves. It all comes down to what would it cost to see Dame go from Portland to Philly. And it's not going to be cheap. And what also is not going to be cheap is the contract that Damian Lillard is currently playing on and going to happen and get paid on throughout the rest of pretty much his NBA career. The guy in 2025 and 2026 is going to be making $60 million. He's 32 years old right here, 32, 33, 34, 35. When he is 36 years old, he'll be making $63 million. He's a great player. He ain't that freaking good, but that's the way the NBA cap is going. It's going to continue to go up, which means everybody in the NBA is going to get paid more. It's not just about what it's going to cost to pay Damian Lillard. It's going to cost how much to trade for him. And this is a trade idea that the Chat Sports Studios cooked up today. And your first reaction might be, what? Because that's what mine was as well. But the Blazers, they ain't letting Dame go for cheap. So what about Tyrese Maxey, obviously the blue chip player in this trade? You get Tobias Harris, good old Toby, to match the salary because he's overpaid as well. And not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 first-round picks. You got to ask yourself, is Lillard worth giving up that much? And I don't even know if it's worth giving up that much for Damian Lillard, is it worth giving up that much to keep Joel Embiid happy? Because if James Harden leaves this summer, and let's say that the Philadelphia Sixers lose in round 1 or round 2, don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals, Embiid's not going to be a happy camper. So you have to find a way to figure out the value of not just trading for Lillard, but also keeping the big fella happy. For Dame Lillard, he's got to ask himself this question. Are you trying to just collect the bag? And if so, that's okay. Be a bag chaser. Or do you want to be a ring guy that wins something in his career? If he is interested, Dame Lillard, in winning a championship, Philly could be the best place to do that. Obviously, Joel Embiid would be the best player he's ever played with in his basketball career, and it'd be the first time he'd be a number 2 option. If he just wants to chill and get paid and live in the same house he's lived in for a while, stay in Portland. And that's okay. Go collect that $120 million when you're 35 and 36 years old. If the goal is to win a championship for the Sixers in the immediate future, then you do it. If you want to sustain success for the long term, pass on it. Only thing I would say is, in this first part, if the goal is to win a championship in the immediate future, then do it. But also for the long term, if you want Joel Embiid to be a 76er throughout his entire career, whether it's Damian Lillard or someone else, you're going to have to get another star to Philly if James Harden bolts back to H-Town. So a lot to weigh in here. So I'll ask you this question. We broke it down from every angle. Would you, the Philly Bull, trade for Dame Lillard? What do you think? Type T for trade, type P for pass. I'll be down in the comments, and so will Chase Sr., seeing what you say.